What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Um, K-Rino, K-Rino, doing a live stream 3 days in a row. Uh, I was getting ready to go somewhere, then I decided to stay in. Want to give a quick word of condolences to the family of my homie, my brother Gary Monroe, who we lost today. And it was a surprise to me. I want to shout out to my brother Gary Monroe, who was a strong presence in the community here in the city of Houston, and and beyond the city of Houston. Um, I don't know any details, but I just know our brother's gone, and he was a strong warrior, advocate for the youth in our city, education. And I just conducted an interview with him on my podcast channel. So if you want to see who I'm talking about, the last episode of our podcast, the most recent one, is with Gary Monroe, the education advocate. And he passed away today. So, I'm real proud to say I know him, and I still know him, because he's still here in the spirit occasions, and been educated by him on many occasions. Even in the interview we did, he taught me a lot. I learned a lot just by researching to interview him. So his presence will be missed. His presence will be felt. And again, blessings to his family, man. So, but one thing I know he wants us to keep going. What people don't know about Brother Monroe, he rapped, he did a lot of stuff. He used to be a football player. He did his thing, man. So, salute to you, brother. Job well done. We will transition right into what we're talking about today. Y'all see the topic. Hit the like button, man. Hit that like button if you're already in here. If you haven't already, just go ahead on it. I'm going to give y'all about 20 seconds to catch these likes up. So y'all click that thumbs up. If you haven't already, I'll give y'all about 15 more seconds to click that like. I know you'll be forgetting when you come in. I understand. I know how it goes. But we want to get into this topic because we want to answer this question. We want to ask this question and answer this question that I have on the title. And if you notice the way I worded it, the way I laid it out, the question is, what makes the perfect album? What makes the perfect album? But if you read how I have it, I have perfect in quotes, because we understand, or we should understand, that word is relative. When you think about a project, when you think about, oh man, that was just a perfect album, that was a classic album. When you use words like that was just a legendary album, a great project, those are all adjectives, but they are relative to the person who's using them. They are really opinions. So you would never get one definitive answer. So we will know. That's why I put what elements, because of course it's going to be more than one thing. So we want to get y'all's opinions. I'll throw out a few things that I look at, and I'll also get y'all to answer the question: name one or two albums. We can do that now. Name one or two albums that over the years that you would classify as being, man, this is just a perfect album. You know how people ask the question, man, if you were stranded on an island and you could only listen to one album for the rest of your life, which album would it be? Whatever answer you give, that would probably be the answer you give as you feeling like that being the album that's perfect or as close to being perfect as you can think of. It doesn't have to be rap. I want to get that to y'all. You know, if it's rap, if that's your answer, then that's cool. But it doesn't have to be rap. Because when I think about the perfect album, the first two that come to my mind are Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life. Hold on. I'm going to put mine in since y'all putting y'all's in too. I see y'all already putting them in. Songs of the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. And Prince, Sign of the Times. I know I spelled that wrong. So I'm going to look at some of the albums that y'all have written down as being perfect, the perfect album. Hold on, now I can't find them. Somebody says Solitary Confinement. I appreciate that, Yosemite Sambo. 8 Ball and MJG, Coming Out Hard. All right. Zero versus the World. Country Grammar. Money Up Records said Country Grammar. Big Seven got a vote. Pink Floyd. Which album? Do they have an album called Pink Floyd? I know Pink Floyd is the group. DNS says Pluto. Nobody funkin' better. Okay. Tupac, Me Against the World. All right. Nas, I Am, or Onyx, Shut 'Em Down, or Big Pun, Capital Punishment. Okay. Gangstar. All right. Riding Dirty, UGK. AT Aliens, that's Outkast, right? Scarface, Made. Okay, cool. So we got a bunch of selections that have been put in already, right? Dollar Bill said Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. Yeah. Okay, we're going to come back to all of them. So now the next question would be, why in y'all's opinion are those albums in y'all mind considered to be the perfect album? What made those albums in y'all's mind just like, hey man, this is perfect? They couldn't have done this no better. What made that be the case in y'all's opinion? We would first have to, I guess we wouldn't first have to do that, but we would have to put in the different elements. Okay, Yosemite just hit one. One of the things that I would agree with Yosemite just said, he said no skips needed. That means that you could just pop the album in and play it. There's no song that you go, I don't want to hear that. Go to the next one. Then you listen to two more and go, nah, skip over number 12. Go to number 13. I don't want it. That means you feel almost the same way about every song when it comes on. When number 1 goes off and number 2 comes on, you feel just as good about number 2 as you did about number 1, or real close to it. Okay, so that's one good element when it don't have no, what's another element? So that's one element, right? No skips, no skip tracks, right? I'm writing it down, right? What's another element? Sleep is the cousin of death. Sleep says, I like a socially conscious current event. Well, not necessarily current event, but just socially conscious reflections in it from current events or past events or whatever, like in the form of speeches and news clips. Okay, but does that alone make a perfect album, make the album perfect if it has it here? Because you're not gonna put that on every song. You're not gonna put a speech clip from every song, unless it's a concept album that may be themed in that way. But that's one of the elements that you put down, right? Okay, let's keep going. Let me see what y'all got. We're naming elements that in your mind constitute a perfect album. Money Up says how it flows. I mean, but be more specific. When you say how it flows, I mean, what do you mean? The music, the continuity. I mean, the how it gels together from transitioning from one song to another. And like I say, it's not just rap, but mostly I know we're gonna get a lot of rap answers. I mean, rap albums as being the answers. Unique Freestyle says less skits, more songs. And that's one of the biggest complaints that a lot of people have been putting out over the years. Is like a lot of albums, they put too many skits on it. In my opinion, I think that's people just trying to cut corners. I think those are just artists who are just trying to cut corners. They trying to just rush something out there real quick. And on the surface appearance, it looks like, oh man, this thing got 16 tracks on it. And 4 or 5 of them are skits and interludes and things like that. And that can be a disappointment to the listener because, hey man, I don't want to hear that many skits. I may listen to skits. I may check out an album and hear skits and be cool at that first one. Maybe one later on in the album, but I don't want to hear all throughout. That's just me. Some people may like that. Okay, James Burton says song fluidity, no skips, relevant substance, relatable, and fire beats. Okay, yeah, that's a bunch of the top elements, right? But I'm gonna need you to specify, be specific, and elaborate on song fluidity. Because I'm saying for me, because that's like when Money Up says how it flows. Like for me, each song is its own entity for me. Unless, again, you're doing a concept album where one song relates and connects to the one that just went off or one down. It's a continuum. But if it's just 15 individual songs, then I don't see one song flowing into the next as being relevant to me. I just know that this song is great in its own self. Then it goes off and another totally different song comes on that's great within its own self, you know. But everything else you said, of course, no skips, relevant substance, right? So if you have an album, and you don't see that a lot in hip hop these days, you see it more so in old school R&B or songs from the 70s and albums from the 70s and 60s, because the social climate was incorporated more into music during those times. So Marvin Gaye would make a song like What's Going On. Sam Cooke will make a song like A Change Gonna Come. You know, you would see those types of records that were reflective of the times that we were living in and the struggles that we were going through at that time, and they uplifted the people. So one of the elements has to be the big elements. I'm writing down the big stuff. Like you said, that social relevance, relevant substance.